Week 2, the question of visibility and invisibility. Is the medical interpreter visible or invisible? This is a question which haunts each medical interpreter and will cause you to wonder just what to do under different situations. We're not talking about a cloak of invisibility, which you purchase at the nearest magic shop. We're talking about how intrusive the interpreter is in what is going on around him or her. To answer the question, the answer to the question is yes, depending on the circumstances. Remember to keep a journal and write something related to this week's topic. Include this in the discussion forum for class participation. Search the Bible for something related to this week's topic and write a brief description. Find a YouTube related to the weekly topic as well. After watching it, write a review and an evaluation. Remember, each week there's a project which you're expected to complete and post as indicated. This week's project is to watch a TV medical show, The Resident, The Good Doctor, etc., and report on the different elements in the medical proceeding and the difficulty interpreting during those elements. You should be reading a book on medical interpreting and writing a brief 3 to 5 page summary of the book and an evaluation. This assignment will be due at the end of the course. Add questions to the question board. You'll get bonus points for each question submitted. If your question is chosen for the final exam, you will get double bonus points. Finally, remember, by the end of the course, you will be expected to have developed a lexicon or glossary, where you list the words and corresponding words in your chosen language. Adding to it weekly will help make its final presentation easier. In the healthcare setting, the interpreter is sometimes told to be totally invisible. This means the interpreter's only role is to facilitate conversation. Their role is to faithfully transmit what one party says to the other without interjecting any opinion or perspective. At this point, it is even questionable whether the interpreter should use what is known as dynamic equivalency, although most everyone does, since languages do not communicate well as word-for-word translations or interpretation. Dynamic equivalency is the art of discovering the closest term in the target language to those found in the source language. This is most often used in colloquial sayings, metaphors, etc. Since interpreting these word for word often produces meaningless phrases, it is imperative that the interpreter be able to convey meaning without losing the heart of what is being said. Most of what is done in the healthcare arena should render the interpreter totally visible. For instance, in the dialogue between the healthcare provider and client, the interpreter will probably take on a very visible persona. That is, the interpreter not only interprets words, but also meanings and culture, so that real communication takes place between the two. If the interpreter merely interprets words, then much understanding is lost. And at this point, it is imperative that both parties understand each other explicitly. So there's a time for invisibility, but there's also a time to become part of the conversation, i.e., visible, in order to help the process get to where it needs to go.